WWRR, Scranton, Wilkes-Barre, WMMZ, Berwick, Bloomsburg, Hazleton, WYCK, Plains.
Powered by Mohegan Sun Pocono.
It's the New River, 105 and 103.5.
This is Music on the Menu on the River.
Timothy, where on earth did you go?
Featuring Northeast PA's best artists.
Maybe, never mind. She can move me like the stereo, like a song on the radio. She's an angel in the morning, yeah, that's right. She's a North Jersey queen.
And now, here's your host, Alan K. Stout.
So I got that going for me, which is nice.
All right, everybody, happy Sunday night. Welcome to Music on the Menu on the River. Alan K. Stout with you as I always am, Sunday nights, 9 to 10 o'clock, bringing you regional artists doing their own original material from right here in northeastern Pennsylvania. Hanging out with D.C. Taylor. D.C., good to see you.
You too, Alan. How's it going?
Good. Welcome back. And we had a little vacation, made a little road trip.
Yeah, little road trip down south, down to Florida.
Good time?
Yes. Yeah, it was
saw
amazing.
some of your Facebook photos. Looks like you're in Florida and good, good weather, good everything.
Lots of things to see around in and around Jacksonville. I'm quite surprised. I'm quite surprised every time we go there. We find new places and new things to go to. It's great.
Terrific. Well-deserved vacation. I'm glad you had a good time.
Thank you.
We had a good time in the last couple of Sundays here on the show, looking back on the anniversary of Concert for Karen, Concert for a Cause. We got some nice feedback on the programs that we put together from some of the artists, particularly that had been a part of those shows. That's not something we'll do often. We're all about premiering new music here on the show, and I think there have been a couple times this year in 2019 already where we've done full shows with nothing but new songs.
Yeah, yep.
And so it was a little bit fun the last couple of weeks to look back and play some of those tracks from the Concert for a Cause albums. Tonight, however, it's back to business as usual, and we're going to premiere a couple of new songs tonight on the program, including this brand new track from Bret Alexander and Jeff Leaman. They did an album a couple of years ago, and they've done another. So they have a new release out. It's called Second Story Music Volume 2, and this is the first single from the record. It's called The Rain.
And you tell me I keep too much inside. I love to play the water. This time I'm running high. Ain't no use in talking about it. I have nothing left here to confess. There are more stones we could throw. I believe we both know what is next. In the rain, sounds like a crowd cheering for a memory. In the rain, washes away all the blood on my hands. Blows in the face of the winds of change. And I'm running away. I'm running away. Some wounds never heal, no matter what you do. Some situations never die unless you cut them out of you. Ain't no use in talking about it. I have nothing left here to confess. Love can be a parasite, living off the dutifully impressed. Sounds like a crowd cheering for a memory. Washes away all the blood on my hands. Blows in the face of the winds of change. And I'm running away. As I step outside, I see the rain keep falling down. It's gonna take time. It's gonna take time. But that sun is gonna shine again. Cheering for a memory. Washes away all the blood on my hands. Blows in the face of the winds of change. And I'm running. Oh, I'm running away.
Chris Mullineaux here on Music on the Menu on the River. A song called Pour Down Over Me. And before that, brand new music from Bret Alexander and Jeff Leaman, a song called The Rain. Bret, of course, the former heart and soul of the Badlees, basically. Bret was the producer of most of their records and the principal songwriter on most of their songs. And, of course, he owned Saturation Acres Recording Studio and gigs out and about frequently. And he's still very active in the NEPA music scene. And he does a lot of collaborations with other artists, too. He did a record with 2 records with Tom Flannery, who we play here on the show.
Yep.
So, we're going to have Bret in maybe. He also produced the Joe Burke album, and we're supposed to have Joe in as our guest in a couple of weeks. And we've also invited Bret to come by if he's free that night. So, always great to hear new music with Bret Alexander involved, and I know he really loves working with Jeff Leaman on those records. We're going to premiere a brand new track here again right now. This is from Patrick McGlynn. We've been playing Patrick's stuff here on the show now for, I'd say a good year and a half. He's been sending us music, maybe a little bit longer. We've liked everything Patrick's ever sent us. What he's been doing lately, which a lot of artists do, is sort of dropping some singles out on Facebook and social media. And, so not an album out yet, but, he gave us a song a few weeks ago and giving us another one this week. This is brand new from Patrick. This one's called The House Where We Grew Up.
These walls just look like plaster, but they're filled with years of laughter. These creaky floors record every step taken on every board, and everyone to come after. In the house where we grew up, where we dreamed when we were young, there's a stairs that Mom yelled up. In the house where we grew up, that backyard where we all played, always made sure we were grass stained. And I could picture the look on my best friend's face. I could still hear the sound of that window break. And that was the end of the ball game. In the house where we grew up, where we dreamed when we were young, there's a fence we'd always jump round the house where we grew up. Got a family of my own now, floors creaking in our own house. Gonna make them sing like we did back when. I saw my dad's outline in the doorway when he got home from the workday. He brought Mom some new pans and pots. She's got the house smelling like tomato sauce, while my brother plays cassette tapes. In the house where we grew up, where we dreamed when we were young, there's the stairs that Mom yelled up. In the house where we grew up, in the house where we grew up.
Hey, this is Shannon Marysyada, and you're listening to Music on the Menu with Alan K. Stout on The River.
Sugar, where's your heart? Why don't you know? You say you're getting too old to chase that part of you. What do you have? If you let it go, you'll never know. If you miss the boat, you say you're this, slip your fingertips. You're out on the outside looking in, but you have it all. You just don't know. You need an intervention, my friend. Give it a go. Try a new road. Might be surprised. Will you let in? Honey, counting the stars, they making a wish. You made it this far. Where's happiness? Down in your heart, you know this ain't it. This is the part where dreams come in. This is the part where dreams come in. You say I've lost my mind. There's no way, there's time. Where there's a will, there's always a way. And talking the talk ain't making your break. What do you have if you let it go? You'll never know. If you miss the boat, you say you're this, slip your fingertips. You're out on the outside looking in, but you have it all. You just don't know. You need an intervention, my friend. Give it a go. Try the road. Might be surprised. Will you let in? Honey, counting the stars, they making a wish. You made it this far, but where's happiness? Down in your heart, you know this ain't it. This is the part where dreams come in. This is the part where dreams come in. What better time to say goodbye to self-control? What better day to look at your face and realize you can take this world. You can take this world. You can take this world. On counting the stars, ain't making a wish. You made it this far, but where's happiness? Down in your heart, you know this ain't it. This is the part where dreams come in. This is the part where dreams come in. Honey, counting the stars, they making a wish. You made it this far, but where's happiness? Down in your heart, you know this ain't it. This is the part where dreams come in. This is the part where dreams come in. Let 'em in, let 'em in, let 'em
Shannon Marysyada here on Music on the Menu on the River with a song called Where Dreams Come In. And before that, brand new music from Patrick McGlynn, a song called The House Where We Grew Up, premiering a couple new tracks for you here tonight on the show. And we've got some more, a little bit more later in the program. So stick around. We'll be back with more music after the break.
The Woodlands is celebrating 50 years. Do you believe it? 50 years! For 2 generations of the Kornfeld family, there's a pretty good chance that you or someone you know slept in one of their beds. Over those 50 years, most of you came out and partied with them on the deck for 5 Day, or inside the 25th Hour, or Evolution nightclubs. For 5 decades, how many of you have dined in their legendary Left Bank Bistro or Time Restaurant? And in half of a century, thousands of you celebrated your first dance in the Grand Ballroom. For 50 years, the Woodlands has been reinventing itself, and they're not done yet. Now, they're proud to introduce the area's newest outdoor wedding venue, the Bridal Gardens, and the creation of their Streamside Apartments. The Woodlands wants to thank all of you who got them there and invite you to swing by for sushi, grab some pizza, listen to some live music, or just stop in for a cocktail. They're not slowing down. They promise. They're just getting started. Check them out at thewoodlandsresort.com.
All right, we're back here on Music on the Menu on the River, playing a lot of new music for you tonight so far, and we've got some more coming up a little bit, but We'll dip back into the catalog here for a moment. Rick Manwiller was really one of my all-time favorite artists from northeastern Pennsylvania. He was a member of Dakota back in the 80s. He started doing some solo records in the 90s and into the 2000s. Rick passed away about 3 years ago. He had cancer. He was still a young man, but should have been getting a lot more music from Rick. But man, he left us with some great music. This is a beautiful song about the complicated relationship between Rick's parents. At least that's what he told me once that it was about. It's called The Best That I Can Do.
She was hiding at the high school dance in her sister's hand-me-downs. He was looking for distraction and he saw her turn around. So he asked her for a dance or two and he pulled her across the gym. And she stumbled nearly every dance as she tried to follow him. She said, I must tell you the truth. That dancing I was doing there with you was the best that I could do. From the wedding day the bad luck came, they were always in the red. He was distant, even angry, but she blamed herself instead. And on the anniversary she found out he'd been with someone new. So she sat him down to talk it out, but she took the blame there too. She said, you must tell me the truth. But if making love with me was second best, it was the best that I could do. Now she's lying on her final bed and her eyes are growing dim. 2 years now with the illness, but 68 with him. And he holds her hand and asks her in a shaky, worried voice, out of all the men you could have picked, do you regret your choice? To have and to hold until death. No, her very first complaint would not be her last breath. And so she could not tell him the truth. And she said, this life that I am leaving now with you, it was the best that I could do.
Hey, this is Mike Miz, and you're listening to Music on the Menu with Alan K. Stout on The River.
I'm not asking for the world to give me the things I think I need. I ain't even asking for love. And I'm not begging for the sky to give me a brand new pair of wings, or even the shooting stars above. All I'm asking is stay today, forever. Just stay today and you'll see. Just stay today, forever. Just stay today with me. Now I'm not asking for the road to show me the way that I should go. I ain't even asking for a sign. And I don't need the wind to whisper the things I want to hear, or to promise that I'll always be fine. All I'm asking is stay today, forever. Just stay today and you'll see. Just stay today, forever. Just stay today with me. And I have asked these questions 1,000 times or more, but every answer only leaves me somehow wanting more. And I have longed for your touch in the darkness of my day. Now icicles are forming on the words I need to say. Now I'm not asking for a second glance if the first one wasn't clear. I no longer need to be saved. And I don't want this life to shelter me from what I fear, for I finally found the will to be brave. And I don't need the answers to the mysteries of life. And I don't need no savior telling me what's wrong or right. And I don't need the angels to sing that song for me, for I have faced my demons and my soul is finally free. All I'm asking is stay today, forever. Just stay today with me. Just stay today, forever. Today with me. Today and you'll see. Just stay today, forever. Just stay today with me.
Miz here on Music on the Menu on the River, a song called Stay Today Forever. And before that, Rick Manwiller, the late Rick Manwiller, with a song called The Best That I Can Do. You know, DC, one of the things, I don't know if you enjoy it, but on social media, the memories on Facebook on this day.
Yeah.
You know, sometimes they pop up for you automatically, and sometimes you have to go look for them yourself. I don't know how that works, but they show up for you.
Yeah.
And sometimes you forget about it. You might miss a few days or whatever. But I like them. You know, I have my kids now for almost the whole social media time. So something will pop up one day, and I'll have posted 10 years ago that my son walked across the room for the first time.
Yeah.
And you know the date that it was, because of Facebook.
That's right.
And so and it's all parts of your life. So the other day, popped up the Jammin' for Jerry at Genetti's.
Yeah.
I believe that was a year ago.
Yep.
Where we had Michelle Riley in, and we had Bill Kelly call in from Nashville. You remember that show?
Yeah. In fact, that came up in my memories because I had taken some pictures when Michelle was in studio.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So that was a year ago this week. So so you know what I'm talking about. It popped up on yours as well. So it's hard to believe it's a year ago already. That great night down at Genetti's to benefit Jerry Ludzik from Dakota. Jerry's hanging in there, from what I understand. He had a little bit of setback recently, but then bounced back from that, which was good news. And so he's hanging in there, and we're all keeping them in our thoughts. This one's from Dakota. It's called Runaway.
Well, I can see that you're running faster, running from some kind of disaster in your heart. They say you're too young to know the feeling, but still your head is reeling from the pain. Where you gonna run to? Where you gonna hide? Baby, your mama and daddy don't know you, while everybody's trying to show you why you're wrong. So you're packing your bags and leaving. You're thinking someday you'll get even with them all.
Hey, this is Dustin Douglas from Dustin Douglas and the Electric Gentleman, and you're listening to Music on the Menu with Alan K. Stout on the River.
Dustin Douglas and the Electric Gentleman here on Music on the Menu on the River with a song called Ain't No Denying. And before that, Dakota with a song called Runaway. This is Music on the Menu. We come here every Sunday from 9 to 10. We play regional artists, their own original material from right here in northeastern Pennsylvania. Obviously, we don't watch Game of Thrones, and we'll be back in a flash, so stick around.
The Woodlands is celebrating 50 years. Do Do you believe it? 50 years! For 2 generations of the Kornfeld family, there's a pretty good chance that you or someone you know slept in one of their beds. Over those 50 years, most of you came out and partied with them on the deck for 5-Day, or inside the 25th Hour, or Evolution nightclubs. For 5 decades, how many of you have dined in their legendary Left Bank Bistro or Time Restaurant? And in half of a century, thousands of you celebrated your first dance in the Grand Ballroom. For 50 years, the Woodlands has been reinventing itself, and they're not done yet. Now, they're proud to introduce the area's newest outdoor wedding venue, the Bridal Gardens, and the creation of their Streamside Apartments. The Woodlands wants to thank all of you who got them there and invite you to swing by for sushi, grab some pizza, listen to some live music, or just stop in for a cocktail. They're not slowing down. They promise. They're just getting started. Check them out at thewoodlandsresort.com.
All right, we're back here on Music on the Menu on the River. A couple things music related, DC, I wanted to mention. First of all, Party on the Patio. We get asked about that sometimes here, because we're a local music show based at the casino. Yeah. So it is back. They did announce it recently. I think it starts like it did last year in mid to late June.
Yeah, I think June 29th.
The end of June, late June.
Yep.
And it'll go through around Labor Day.
Yeah, just before, I think the Thursday before Labor Day.
Yeah.
Yep.
And so, you'll have July and August for Party on the Patio with some of the great cover bands. Check it out on the Mohegan Sun website if you want to see what artists are playing what nights. Of course, 105 The River is a proud sponsor of Party on the Patio.
Yep.
And so, we'll be there helping host those events and promote them. And it's a good night of music. I usually wind up coming up for a couple of them myself. Mm-hmm. Another thing that happened in the news earlier in the week was Woodstock, the 50th anniversary of Woodstock. And it was on, and then it was canceled, and then it was back on. I don't know where it is as of Sunday night at 9 o'clock. But you know what? One of the things that kind of annoyed me about it all was all the headlines saying that the Woodstock 50th anniversary event is canceled.
Right.
There is a Woodstock 50th anniversary event happening at Bethel Woods.
Yeah.
Which is where Woodstock occurred.
Yeah.
Right in the field where Woodstock happened.
That's it.
That's where you want to be. They have Ringo Starr, John Fogerty, Santana, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Thursday night, they're going to show the Woodstock documentary from 1969 in the field where Woodstock happened.
Yeah.
And so, if you're looking to do something to celebrate the 50th anniversary of Woodstock, whether it happened before you were born or, earlier in your life where you were too young to be there, or you were there and, you're of that age where you remember it happening and you want to celebrate it, go to Bethel Woods.
Right. That seems like the real celebration. I mean, what was the other ones like Watkins Glen? It's like, I don't know, Miley Cyrus and Cardi B,
Jay-Z,
and Jay-Z. Like,
it's 50 miles away.
Yeah.
The reason that had the Woodstock name to it is because the guy that founded Woodstock was doing that one.
Right.
The actual guy that promoted it, so he was involved with that one.
Okay.
So I guess that's why he got, to use the name.
Okay. All right.
But if you want the history, I mean, I've been to Bethel Woods a couple times.
Yeah.
I saw Van Halen up there, I saw Rod Stewart up there, and I saw Sting. Every single time I've taken the walk, which is maybe 200 yards from the amphitheater, over to the field. Mm-hmm. And there's a monument there, and you could feel it, man.
Yeah.
You can feel it. It has the vibe. And so Woodstock is on, alive and well. What happens at Watkins Glen, I don't even really care, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
But I'm just happy that something is happening.
Yeah.
At Bethel Woods. So, remember that, folks. If you're thinking about wanting to do something really cool in the middle of August. We're going to premiere another song for you now. This is from an artist called Holomind. It's basically a composer. He's a guitarist, synthesized player, writer, producer, Dr. Joseph Simmons from Kingston. And he does these records independently, and he's sent us some of his music recently. He's got a guest vocalist on this one, a woman from Philadelphia named Talila, and this is a track called Is It Enough?
Sometimes it feels like
stuck up in my head. Be the same.
J.P. Williams here on Music on the Menu on the River with a song called CigarBox Boogie. And before that, brand new music from Holomind, a song called Is It Enough? JP's having some success with his music, DC.
Yeah.
That CigarBox Boogie is number 5 on the Roots Music Report top 50 blues song chart recently.
Oh, nice.
And, you know, he's up there with people like, Tedeschi Trucks Band and Buddy Guy and
wow.
Joe Bonamassa, and so some really talented people that he's swimming around with up
Those
there
are big names, yeah.
on the charts. So congratulations, JP, on his success. And before that, brand new music, as I mentioned, a song called Is It Enough? So good show here tonight. We got a lot of tunes on. You know, DC, I was driving up here. We always sign off with the Badlees, and you were playing the song by Blues Traveler,
Run Around.
Yeah. And I just have these memories that come back to me sometimes, and one of the things I found is that people kind of get a kick out of it when I share them. I don't know why, but tell me more stories or whatever. So this is not a big deal, but in 1995, we always close with the Badlees, so that's what it leads into. Mm-hmm. They had been opening for Robert Plant and Jimmy Page.
Yeah.
The Badlees. And I covered the show up in Buffalo, New York. They were at the Buffalo Memorial Auditorium. It was like 18,000 people. Badlees had just been signed to A&M for River Songs, Atlas Records, and they were getting some big shows with Allman Brothers and Bob Seger and Plant Page. So I go up to the show, and do you remember the video for Run Around, where John Popper, he's off stage singing behind the curtain?
Oh yeah.
And there's this real charismatic guy with the long bouncy hair jumping around, twirling.
Yeah, right.
Well, the guy in that video always reminded me a little bit of Pete Palladino from the Badlees.
Yeah, all right.
And I don't think I was the only one that maybe thought that, But in the video, he was they had him propped up because he, I guess, was the good-looking, charismatic guy, and John Popper was, not that.
Right.
And so they kind of played up on that. So I go back to say hello to the Badlees before they open up for basically Led Zeppelin in the backstage area of the auditorium. And, it's like big show, I mean, there's I don't know if the guys are going to be nervous or tense or whatever it is. This is huge. And I walked back, and I said, the guys see me, and they knew me from the paper, and they knew I was coming up to cover the event. And I see Pete Palladino, and I don't know, just to break the tension a little bit or break the ice, I go, now the video has just come out recently.
Yeah.
Aren't you the fake guy from the Blues Traveler video?
That's great. Yeah. Just like him.
I know you. Everybody started laughing, and they went out and knocked it dead. Great show that night in Buffalo from the Badlees. I leave it now, as I always do, with one from that band. This one's called See Me as a Picture. We'll see you next week.
Do you see me as a picture, a photo in a frame, a bittersweet reminder of how everything has changed? Do you see me as a memory of a simpler time? Do you see me as a picture in your mind? Do you see me as a flower that wilted